Hi, this is Lieutenant Rocky Gripton with the Idaho State Police Alcohol Beverage Control. The mission of the Idaho State Police is providing public safety across the state of Idaho through law enforcement excellence. Providing education to alcohol licensees is an important function of the Idaho State Police Alcohol Beverage Control. This free training is being provided to promote compliance and understanding of the laws and rules of the state of Idaho associated with alcohol beverage licenses. At the end of this training video, there is contact information for your local ABC offices. Please feel free to contact your local ABC detectives with any questions.
The objectives of this training is to know why enforcement is priority, about the Idaho's three-tier system, to identify a retail alcohol license, to know legal ramifications of any violations, to know the rules governing licensed premises, to know laws pertaining to alcohol sales to minors, to know laws pertaining to the overservice of alcohol, to recognize illegal activities, and to recognize false identification cards.
At the end of Prohibition, the federal government released control to the individual states in 1934, with temperance and morality in mind to protect the virtue and sobriety of the people. The legislature of the state of Idaho shall have full power and authority to permit, control, and regulate or prohibit the manufacture, sale, keeping for sale, and transportation for sale of intoxicating liquors for beverage purposes.
So tell me, why do I need to know this? Safety is our number one concern. We want to keep you alive. The following is an example of the Idaho traffic crash data from 2014 to 2018. For example, Idaho population has a 1.7% growth increase, but yet our total crashes are at 5.3%, which is a substantial percentage difference. This 2018 Idaho Department of Transportation Highway Safety slide shows the top 7 contributing factors in all of Idaho crashes. Please note that alcohol-drug involvement is number 1. The following few slides are all about safety. This slide talks about the substance use. Note that alcohol is again number 1 in both our youth and adults. Idaho has made great strides in reducing youth use. Youth past 30-day use is among the lowest rates in the nation.
What's up, man?
Tonight we have new information on the 26-year-old driver who crashed into a St. Johns County deputy, killing him.
Chris Cadilla of Jacksonville was driving the wrong way on 9A and slammed into a St. Johns County Sheriff's deputy's car.
My name is Chris Cadilla. I'm 32 years old. I'm in prison for DUI manslaughter, and I'm sentenced to 15 years. I think about the man that I killed in the crash all the time. I kind of try to replay the scene in my head and see where things went wrong, but mostly I just think about him and his family. I hope that I'll reach out to somebody and stop people from drinking and driving, thinking twice about the next time they want to get in the car. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
You having a good time?
Yeah. Well, what do you have? How'd you get in the mirror?
I don't know if you can tell right now, but I'm talking to you from prison.
You're in prison. Is this a joke?
No, I wish it was. Definitely not. What are you drinking?
I don't know, whiskey sour.
It's a good drink.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
One night, I was drinking out with friends. I got in the car, drove, and killed somebody.
Wow, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
The man I killed was a police officer. He had 4 children, a wife, and I took him away from them. I made the choice to drink. I made the choice to get in the car. You don't have to make that choice. So take a good look in the mirror, man. Should you be driving tonight?
Man, I mean, that's kind of serious. I have a friend that's DDing tonight.
Yeah, no, I was gonna take a taxi actually, so.
Good for you, man. Just make sure your friends get home safely, too.
Definitely will.
I get it. Thanks.
Be safe out there.
I will. All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
To someone who thinks that this would never happen to them, I'd say think twice about it. Because I was in that same boat. I thought I was invincible, and it eventually caught up to me.
As we came out of Prohibition, laws were put into place to prevent a tied house. The laws in regards to aid to retailers spell out what type of relationship can be had between a manufacturer or a distributor with a retailer. Furthermore, the laws spell out what a manufacturer or a distributor can provide or what they must sell to a retailer at fair market value. A violation for aid to retailer can result in an administrative violation for all parties involved.
I'm Jeremy Piska with the Idaho Beer and Wine Distributors Association. Idaho's beer and wine products are governed by a 3-tier system, a system that's intended to separate brewers and suppliers from distributors and wholesalers, and from retailers, grocers, and bars. The 3-tier system helps to facilitate state and local decision-making regarding alcohol products. It's also created to efficiently collect taxes. Another function of the 3-tier system is to promote responsible consumption and community safety, and to balance competition and regulation while maintaining an orderly marketplace for alcohol beverages. The 3-tier system comes from the failure of America's prohibition practices. Prior to Prohibition, saloons were becoming more than just a place to have a drink. Among other things, they cashed checks and they extended credit. They supplied mailing addresses. They provided sleeping quarters in public facilities. And although some say there's no such thing as a free lunch, they did offer a free lunch. And it included things like salty foods to get patrons in, to keep them drinking, and to keep them drinking until their entire paycheck was gone. Those sorts of practices led to what's considered the tied house. Brewers enter the equation as suppliers of more than just beer. If a saloon operator agreed to serve only one brand of beer, the brewer would provide everything from food to artwork, refrigeration supplies, electric signs, mirrors, furniture, spittoons, glasswares. They would pay licensing fees, and they would take care of virtually anything else within the 4 walls of the saloons. In that respect, saloon keepers had become subsidized servants of the breweries. And by 1910, 70% of all saloons were either owned by, in debt to, or indentured to the breweries. The 21st Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified in December of 1933. The 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment, which was the amendment that created Prohibition. John D. Rockefeller commissioned attorney Raymond Fosdick and practicing engineer Albert Scott to study the successes and failures of alcohol regulation in other nations. Fosdick and Scott's findings outline how to avoid history of alcohol issues repeating themselves. Fosdick and Scott's findings are published in a book that is still used today, Towards Liquor Control. Among their findings, they found most efficient was statewide alcohol enforcement. In other words, leaving regulation of alcohol products to the individual states. They recommended multiple licensing classifications to recognize the inherent differences between beer, wine, and spirits. They recommended regulation of hours of sale, particularly for on-premise consumption. They identified that licensees should belong to the establishment as well as to the owner. They recommended certain restrictions on advertising, as well as price control mechanisms. Also, they recognized that taxation objectives should be rational and for the purposes of social control rather than strictly for revenue enhancement. But in particular, they also prohibited the tied house relationships between manufacturers and retailers by creating the distribution tier. The distribution tier is the vehicle which provides assurance that no tied house relationship can exist. Without the three-tier system, the natural tendency is to vertically integrate. With vertical integration, the supplier controls the entire chain. By requiring the distribution tier, it ensures that a local business, locally licensed, is promoting products responsibly within their communities. As an additional benefit, the Division of Alcohol Beverage Control relies on the distribution tier to assist in the regulatory function. The three-tier system also helps ensure that no one tier grows so large that it can outmuscle regulators or outmuscle any one of the other tiers.
A license is needed to dispense alcohol in the state of Idaho, and you must have the appropriate license for the type of alcohol to be sold. Here is an example of an Idaho state license. The original current license must be signed and prominently displayed in the premises. The endorsements will be listed on the bottom left-hand side of the license. On this slide, you can see liquor says no or liquor says yes. Depending on what endorsements you have listed is the only thing your business is able to provide to the public. The following slides come from the Idaho Supreme Court regarding laws and rules. Alcohol beverage licensees are regulated by three sources of authorities: Title 23, the IDAPA rules, and city and county ordinances. Possible legal actions against a violator can include a criminal citation, an arrest, or an administrative violation. Possible legal actions against a licensee include an administrative violation notice, which could be a suspension, revocation of a license, or a monetary penalty, or a criminal complaint, which can include fine or jail. Additional consequences include public safety is compromised. You might have a loss of employment, legal fees, loss of your reputation, and loss of sales. A licensed premises includes the building and property used by the licensee for the sale of alcohol. The premises is identified by the floor plan and diagram submitted to ABC.
If you are working or own an establishment where there are frequent calls for police service, where patrons are commonly causing disturbances such as fighting, urinating in public, gathering outside, or where illegal gambling is taking place, you may need to better police your premises and to avoid problems with your community, local emergency responders, and prosecutor.
Any room of any premises where there is a bar, where alcohol, bar supplies, and equipment are kept, and where alcoholic beverages are prepared, mixed, and served for consumption. For example, think of a restaurant that has a bar right in the middle of it. Minors under 21 are not allowed to sit at the bar top. Because Idaho is a three-tier state, beer must be purchased for resale from a wholesaler or brewery licensed in the state of Idaho, and wine must be purchased or they must receive wine for resale from a distributor or winery licensed in the state of Idaho. Liquor must be purchased from a state liquor store. Liquor cannot be sold by the bottle. Only liquor retailers can sell liquor by the drink. Selling or possession of liquor not purchased from the division is a felony. Spirit-based beverages exceeding 14% alcohol by volume shall be considered as liquor and sold only through the division. State law sets the hours of sale for all licensed alcohol beverage establishments at 1 a.m., but counties and cities can extend the hour to 2 a.m. The sale hours for beer and wine are from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m., unless extended until 2 by the city or county. Beer and wine does not have to be locked up after closing hours. The sale hours for liquor begin at 10 a.m. in the morning to 1 a.m., unless extended until 2 by your city or county. Open bottles must be locked up after sale hours, and sealed bottles do not have to be locked up. Alcohol sales stop at the mandated time. Open liquor is locked up, beer and wine is stored. Alcohol consumption ends 30 minutes later. All remaining served alcohol shall be disposed of within this time frame. People can remain in the premises as long as the licensee allows them, but no alcohol can be sold or consumed after the mandated time. Private parties in a bar still need to follow hours of sale and all applicable laws in regards to alcohol sales and service. There are no restrictions on days of sale for beer and wine. However, liquor may not be sold, offered for sale, or given away on Sunday, Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. Cities and counties can also allow sales on Sunday, Memorial Day, and Thanksgiving. Check your ordinances. Liquor cannot be sold on Christmas Day. All law enforcement officers have the right to inspect licensed liquor, beer, and/or wine premises. The licensee and/or employees must allow the officer in to examine the premises. Code 23-1035 prohibits advertising any brewer or trade name, trademark, or label of any brand of beer on the exterior portion of the premises. Code 23-931 prohibits advertising the sale of liquor on the exterior of the premises. Code 23-1033, 3E, allows temporary signs or banners displaying a brewer's, dealer's, or wholesaler's name, trademark, or label, which signs may be permitted to be temporarily displayed on the exterior portion of the retail premises in connection with the special event. All advertising must be removed following the event. Advertising for special events can be anything from weddings, St. Patrick's Day, rodeos, any kind of special holiday celebrations. It is illegal to sell alcohol to the following: any person actually, apparently, or obviously intoxicated, a habitual drunkard, an interdicted person. Interdicted person means a person to whom the sale of liquor is prohibited under law. If a patron in your premises is showing apparent signs of intoxication, then you cannot serve them alcohol, sell them alcohol, or allow them to possess or consume alcohol. Signs of intoxication. Watch for customers who lose their concentration or train of thought during conversation. Look for bobbing heads and drooping eyelids. For speech patterns, talk to your customers and watch for these signs of intoxication. The following are some more over-service tips. For cutting someone off, be polite. Remember, people that have been drinking have the potential to lose their sense of reasoning. Tell the person that state law requires you to stop alcohol sales, service, possession when signs of intoxication are present. Let them know that you value them as a customer, but state law is very specific and you do not want them to get into trouble. Don't argue, but be firm. Offer to get or sell them a non-alcoholic beverage. Offer to call a cab for them so they do not drive.
Here's an example of a wrongful death civil case which resulted in a $716.5 million settlement where a civil trial jury in Florida ordered the owner of a convenience store that sold alcohol to a teen who later in the day caused a drunk driving accident that killed a 32-year-old man to pay the deceased victim's family $716.5 million. Here's another example of a wrongful death lawsuit filed in 2019 related to the drunk driving death of a former restaurant employee. This case involves someone we all know, Tiger Woods. Woods is facing a wrongful death lawsuit alongside his Jupiter, Florida restaurant, The Woods Jupiter, and the establishment's manager, Erica Herman, whom Tiger has been dating since 2017. The parents of Nicholas Imsberger, who died at age 24 in a December 2018 drunk driving crash while employed as a bartender at The Woods Jupiter, filed the suit, alleging that Woods, Herman, and other employees, management, and owners of the restaurant overserved a young man they all knew was suffering with the disease of alcoholism. Imsberger had a blood alcohol level of .256, nearly 3 times the legal limit of 0.8 at the time of his death, per CBS News. He was allegedly permitted to drive home following 3 hours of drinking at the Woods Jupiter after his shift at the restaurant concluded.